y'all, welcome back to Reading Those Hoops. I'm your host Tyreek, and D Rose is back in the garden. So let's talk about it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And yeah, I'm sorry that I know I'm late. This trade happened a few days ago, but I'd be busy with school and work and stuff. But I still want to give my reaction and give my thoughts on the Knicks, and also what the Pistons got back for trading Derrick Rose back to the Knicks. 18-4-4 as a third option in the triangle a few years ago. The real ones remember that. But yeah, D Rose, he seems happy about it. I mean, he made that long IG post just talking about, just how excited he was to be back in New York. And he said, if he ever got the opportunity to play in New York, he's going to take that opportunity. So, I'm just happy to see that he's happy, and he's going to a team that's actually, they're pretty cool. I think they're just missing that extra, person that they can go to in close games, and I think D Rose can be that for this team. One of the best defensive teams in the league. Tom Thibodeau's really changed the culture there in New York. I love to see it. Because the basketball is just better when the Knicks are a quality team, when the Lakers are good, when the Bulls are good. I mean, even though the Bulls aren't really, that good, but I mean, it's just good seeing those teams, those big market teams, being competitive. So I'm glad to see that the Knicks I think they're taking a step towards, they just want to be a playoff team this season. And they have that Mavericks pick, which, right now, Dallas is the second worst team in the West, but I don't think that's going to hold. But I mean, even if it does, and you have that pick, which will be a lottery pick, potentially. So that's good. And then just, you have a chance to continue to grow your young guys quickly. Obi Toppin, RJ Barrett, guys like that. Even like Mitchell Robinson, Kevin Knox, you still got those guys on the roster. Now, the trade sent away Dennis Smith Jr. in the second round pick. I'm going to get to the Pistons, side of it. But, as for the Knicks, you didn't really give up too much because Dennis Smith wanted to be in the G League, apparently. So, you give that up, and the second round pick, which wasn't even the Pistons' second round pick. This was, I think, Charlotte's second round pick, if I'm not mistaken. It was a second round pick that's, won't be really that valuable as much as that Pistons pick, which will be right outside of the first round. So, the Knicks, Leon Rose and them did a really good job with this trade, and you get D Rose, expiring deal, and just another veteran presence. Even Derrick Rose said he's going to do everything he can to help those young guys grow. He said to quickly, he said to Obi Toppin, I'm going to help you guys grow as much as possible. So, that's really good. And the Knicks have been lacking, I think, quality point guard play, even though Emmanuel Quickly's been really good, but he's a rookie, so my bad. He's been really good, but he is a rookie. So, you expect to see him be up and down at times, and it has been very up and down at times. But he's had those big games, so he's showing a lot of promise for somebody that they took at the end of the first round, which a lot of people, for whatever reason, said he's not even a first-round pick. But, I think that was, kind of crazy to say in the first place, because I think, real basketball heads seen the talent in Quickly. I mean, he's a 6'3 guard, 6'10 wingspan, one of the best shooters out of that class. And then he played that extra year at Kentucky, so, a little more experience, a little more league ready. So, I don't see why, people were so down on him in the draft. But the Knicks took a chance. They got a steal in him, in my opinion. Then Obi Toppin, I mean, it's hard for him to really show what he can do right now because Julius Randle's been playing so well. And, you're not just going to take minutes away from Julius Randle, especially when he's playing good basketball, which he's been doing all season long. But he's showing flashes, I think. And, it's just time's going to tell with him. I mean, he's going to be a part of this core. I like what I've seen from RJ Barrett this season. He just looks a lot better, a lot more confident this season, a little more efficient. So, that's good signs. I mean, Kevin Knox, it's kind of hard because, some games he plays pretty solid and then other games is DNPs. But I think that's how Tibbs works. I mean, he's going to play the guys that are playing good. And the thing with this Knicks team, they have young guys, but they have a lot of veterans. So, if Emmanuel Quickly's not playing well, that's why, Elfrid Payton finishes games a lot, which is, part of the reason why they traded for Derrick Rose, because having Elfrid Payton finish games, it's not going to make you a playoff team. And then, if RJ's not playing well, Alec Burks will come in, or, somebody like that, Alec Burks, or my bad, just Alec Burks. They don't really have a lot of wing depth, but, same goes for Kevin Knox. If he's not playing well, Burks will come in. Something like that. Mitchell Robinson's not playing well, Nerlens Noel will come in. And, they'll trust Nerlens Noel with those, big minutes down the stretch. They have a lot of vets in there. And that's just how Tibbs plays. I mean, if the young guys are playing well, he's going to play them. If they're not, they won't touch the floor. And that's just a part of the culture change, I think, in New York. And I like what I'm seeing from Tibbs changing that Knick culture. I think Knicks fans should be very excited, especially getting Derrick Rose back in the Garden. And they're going to have fans sometime soon, I think within the next week or two. So, 2,000 fans, you get to see D Rose and them, go at it. They lost last night to the Heat. But I think the Heat are a team that's kind of in like desperation mode right now, so that's not really a bad loss. Derrick Rose looked pretty good, and the limited minutes he played, he only played 20 minutes, but he looked really good. So I think the Knicks tape, man, might be coming back. Maybe not in the full capacity, but it's a good possibility we might see playoff basketball in New York this season, in my opinion. And I would be excited to see that. At least see them be competitive for the play-in, which I think is very possible, especially in that Eastern Conference. But yeah, Knicks fans should be excited, and they should be even more excited because they didn't give up too much, really anything, to get Derrick Rose. I mean, they didn't really give up too much. I mean, Dennis Smith Jr. in his second-round pick, which wasn't your second-round pick, wasn't that Pistons second-round pick. So it's not really a high-value second-round pick. And like I said, Dennis Smith Jr. wanted to be in the G League because he just wasn't touching the floor. I'm somebody, I was really high on Dennis Smith Jr. when he came out of NC State. After his rookie year, he plays pretty well his rookie year. I was high on him because the athleticism. I'm just thinking once he develops actual like point guard play, like once he learns how to play the position, it's gonna be deadly. But just hasn't panned out. I mean, obviously Luka came to Dallas, which kind of threw him off the ball. So they traded him for Porzingis and blah blah blah. And then in New York, after the first half season he was there, didn't really get the opportunity last year under Fizdale. I think he was playing like 10 minutes a game or something like that. And that's a third-year player, just basically falling out of the rotation and falling out of the league as we know it. And like he said, he wanted to be in the G League, kind of similar to what Josh Jackson did last season, just to get his confidence back up. But I think this is a perfect situation for him because now Detroit doesn't really have any guard play. I mean, they have Killian Hayes, who I don't even think's been playing lately. Last time I heard, I think he was hurt. I'm not 100% sure. So don't, fact check me on that. But I mean, even if they do have Killian Hayes, there's no guards really holding him back. Like, I mean, the best guard they probably have in Detroit now is DeLon Wright, he's had moments this season, but I mean, now it's a chance for Dennis Smith Jr. just to play basketball freely and, kind of out of the spotlight, I would say. I mean, New York is the biggest stage of basketball. Most people say it's the mecca of basketball. And, anytime you're in New York and you're struggling, you're going to get thrown under the bus. I mean, we've seen that over the last, forever. I mean, ever since Knicks basketball has been the thing. I mean, people have been getting thrown under the bus for years. So I think this is a perfect situation for Dennis Smith Jr. Good for the Pistons just to at least get something back for Derrick Rose. Because, I mean, they had an opportunity to trade him last trade deadline, but they didn't pull the trigger. I think the Lakers were interested. Might have been centered around like Alex Caruso and a second-round pick. So I would say Caruso's, better than Dennis Smith Jr. right now, but still a lot of upside for Dennis Smith Jr. I think if he can just tap into that potential, get his confidence back. I mean, I'm hoping it for him, man, because he was one of my favorite guys coming out of the draft. I still got faith in him. So hopefully he can figure it out in Detroit. But yeah, Derrick Rose back in the Knicks. He's wearing number 4 this time instead of the 25 I think he wore last time. Yeah, he wore 25 last time. So, I mean, Rose back in the Garden. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know if you guys think the Knicks can make a playoff push with this roster and how they've been playing. And, let's have a discussion about it in the comments, man. Again, I apologize for being late and not posting the last few days. I'm very busy, but I'm gonna definitely try and get as much content out as I can for you guys. I appreciate all of the support. It's been keeping me going, man. All the support's been meaning the world. So I'm gonna definitely be back very soon with a video. Maybe later tonight because there's a lot of games on tonight. Might have some stuff to talk about, but I'm gonna catch y'all next time, man. Peace.